Hello, my name is Constance Martin, and I will be talking to you about the independence of Latin American countries and some of the chain of events that led up to it. I will cover three topics: revolution and war in Europe, the Spanish American rebellions, and the Patriots' winning strategy. Like many other countries, Latin America was under colonial rule, and one that had proven to be stable for the most part. So when the imperial collapse took place, no one was really anticipating that happening. So um, they did not really know what to do. So they kind of played things out by ear, so to speak. The collapse basically spelled freedom, but seemingly no one could read it except for Haiti. In Haiti, the slaves totally overtook. Um, there was a total takeover, but some of the other countries, the caste system kind of stayed in place with the white stand on top and the poor people and the slaves stand on the bottom. When this happened, Latin America completed a dozen of the world's first constitutional republics. As much as the caste system was shaken up, but as I stated, many of the people didn't feel a sense of belonging. So the first section that we're going to go into and skim and give a little bit of information on is the revolution and war in Europe. Okay, so this is going on for about 2 decades, which is approximately 20 years. And Spanish Americans were under the rule of King Charles the Fourth and I'm sorry, I said Charles, I meant Carlos, King Charles the Fourth, and he just wanted to kind of skip out on his responsibilities. He was said to be incompetent. He avoided his responsibilities and left everything to his wife's lover. Picture that, who did a terrible job, which led to many wars and eventually bankruptcy of the crown. And because the crown was bankrupt, they enforced higher taxes. The people ended up paying, and to be in government offices, which led to even more incompetence with people buying their way in to governmental offices, and of course, governmental loan foreclosures. So the war in England began in 1796. Um, the French Revolution was from 1789 through 1799, and the Napoleon Wars were from 1799 to 1815. So what was going on is French revolutionaries um, of the 1790s had challenged the idea of monarchy based on divine right. They executed the king, King Louis the 16th, and Marie Antoinette, who was his wife, were executed um, because the political ideology of liberation was born. So these were some bold people. So in late 1807, Napoleon took over the Spanish throne from King Carlos. Well, did he take it over or did he hand it over to him since he didn't want to be responsible for being the king anyway? But the literature states that he took over the crown and over the throne, and he made his brother, Prince Fernando, the king of Spain. So imagine that, a Frenchman being the king over these Spanish people. In 1808, Portugal, which was an anti Napoleon um, country, had an uprising, and Brazil remained peaceful during this time. The next topic is the Spanish American Rebellion, which was from 1810 to 1815. Some highlights on that time period were about Father Hidalgo and the Creoles who defended defeated Mexico against the Peninsula, um, which were Iberian born Spaniards. So Father Hidalgo is known as the founder of Mexico. Also, during this time, thousands of poor rural people migrated to the Virgin of Guadalupe. And the Virgin of Guadalupe is even today, known as a symbol of Mexican identity. During this time, Peru had a slow start to independence, and they remained under Spanish control along with Bolivia and Ecuador. So the last section is the Patriots' winning strategy. Now, the Patriots' winning strategy was all about a word called nativism. Um, these Creoles had a winning strategy to independence. And what nativism is, it glorifies an American identity defined upon your birthplace. So this meant that um, anybody who was indigenous, anybody who um, basically was born here. This included the children of the African slaves, also any mixed breeds between the indigenous or the Africans or whoever. But because they were born here on American soil, they were considered Americanas. So they joined together, and that was their strategy for defeat. There were a lot of things that went on. It was a plethora of information in this chapter about independence and how each country was affected by the different wars, the revolutions, and everything. And those are just some of the highlights. I hope that you got a sense and an idea of some of the things that transpired during this Latin American independence. Thank you.